The night was soft, the moon a pale witness, a quiet breeze carrying whispers of what I missed. Her name appeared on my screen, glowing, waiting, but my silence swallowed it, unknowing, unheeding. She had called me again and again, hoping my voice would answer her heart's refrain. Yet my phone lay asleep, indifferent, unmoved, and her longing echoed in the shadows, unresolved. Now she's angry, her heart flickering with fire, and I stand, lost, tangled in my own regret. What words could undo the stillness I chose? What apology could reach her through my absent mind? I imagine her eyes, sharp with hurt, her heart tightening with each missed ring, her fingers trembling as she reached out, only to meet the emptiness where I should have been. She doesn't know my silence was unplanned, a careless moment in a life too often distracted, a single switch, a tiny oversight, transforming our warmth into cold distance. I replay the hours I failed to be there, every call ignored by an unknowing hand, every message unseen, every heartbeat of hers I let fade in the dark. I whisper into the empty night, "Forgive me, my love, don't let this grow between us." But the wind carries my words away, and she is left with the sting of my absence. She called me with hope in her voice, but found only silence, a hollow echo. Now anger clouds the tenderness I once held, and I ache to bring her back from the edge of pain. The stars witness my quiet confession. The moon knows the weight of my remorse. I would give anything to rewind the moment, to feel her voice and answer it with love. Her anger is a storm I do not want, a fire I wish to soothe with gentle words. Yet here I am, silent no longer by choice, but trapped in the consequences of one small mistake. The night stretches on, and I imagine her waiting, her mind spinning stories of neglect and hurt. If only I could reach her, if only I could show her my heart is still hers. The morning light finds me restless, haunted by the memory of her unanswered call. Her voice, soft yet urgent, lingers in my mind. A melody interrupted, now a quiet ache. I picture her pacing, her brows drawn tight, wondering why I did not hear, did not respond. Each step she takes echoes in my heart, a rhythm of frustration, of hurt, of longing. I wish I could hold her right now and explain that my silence was never a choice, that my heart listens even when my ears fail, and my soul reaches for her across the distance. But words alone seem powerless. Unable to cross the gulf of anger she feels, I am left with the weight of absence, a void that swallows my intentions whole. Her eyes, I imagine, burning with fire, reflecting both love and disappointment. How can I undo the shadow I cast, when a simple vibration could have saved the night? I remember her laugh, soft like a breeze, and I ache that it went unheard tonight. Her anger, though fierce, is a sign she cares, a painful reminder that our bond is real. I reach for my phone, trembling with fear, afraid to call, yet desperate to hear her voice. The silence between us is heavy, and every tick of the clock drives me deeper into regret. I replay the moments before the call, wondering if a word, a glance, a smile could have changed her mind, eased her pain, kept the anger from growing like wildfire. She called me, and the world held its breath, waiting for my answer that never came. Now I must face the consequence of inattention and plead for forgiveness in the quiet aftermath. I imagine her words, sharp and trembling, piercing through the night, demanding my presence. I would give anything to turn back time, to feel her warmth and answer her longing. The stars cannot fix what my hands have failed, nor can the moon erase the hours lost. Only she holds the power to soothe this rift, to restore the calm between our hearts. Yet hope lingers, fragile and faint, that she might see my remorse. That love, though tested, might survive the silence, and our hearts find their way back to each other. Night falls again, and I lie awake, haunted by the echo of her voice, a gentle storm of anger and love, blurring the line between hurt and desire. I imagine her hands, restless, tapping the phone, waiting for a reply, her patience fraying at the edges, her heart caught between hope and frustration. How can I explain the quiet that stole the moment? How can I make her see my heart was present, even when my ears betrayed me? Even when my world moved on without noticing her call? The moon watches me, silent and impartial, as I imagine her pacing, each step a silent accusation, each sigh a whisper of disappointment. I long to hear her voice again, to feel the tremor of emotion in every word. I would answer 1,000 calls just to mend the thin thread fraying between us. Her anger is sharp, yet it is love still, a fire that burns because she cares. And I, guilty and remorseful, burn with equal intensity for my mistake. I replay the scene in endless loops, her face, her voice, the urgent longing in her eyes. The phone's silence was a thief in the night, stealing precious moments I can never reclaim. I wish I could reach through time, answer before the hurt took hold, speak words of love and reassurance, and cradle her heart back into calm. But the present is relentless, and I am left with nothing but regret. The weight of her anger presses down, a tangible shadow across my chest. I imagine her finally sitting down, exhausted from waiting, from hoping. Her tears may fall, soft and silent, and I ache knowing I caused them. I would trade everything for one word from her. One sigh that tells me she forgives, one glance that tells me the bond endures, one smile that restores what silence shattered. Yet I wait, trembling, knowing that patience is my only ally and hope is the fragile bridge between my remorse and her heart. The night stretches on, endless and quiet, and I whisper her name into the dark, hoping the wind will carry it to her, hoping she will hear my heart, even if my phone failed. The next morning, sunlight creeps through my window, and still her silence fills the room more than light ever could. I imagine her angry yet tender, a storm of emotion that I cannot calm with words alone. Her voice, once a melody that lifted my soul, now dances in my memory sharp and insistent. I long to hear it again, to answer each call, to assure her that my heart was never absent. I remember the way she laughs, so free, so bright, and the guilt twists in me like a knife. How could I let a simple silence turn into a chasm between us? I reach for my phone, trembling in hesitation, afraid to break her anger with my voice. Yet the emptiness around me pushes me forward, urging me to speak, to beg, to restore what I lost. She called me, and I failed to respond. And now her anger is a living presence, filling corners of my mind, shaping every thought with regret. I wonder if she paces, if her fingers hover over the screen, if her heart beats fast with worry and irritation, and if deep inside she still hopes for me. The weight of silence is heavier than stones, and I carry it alone in the quiet of my room. I replay the day, the hours she waited, each moment a reminder of my failure. How fragile is love, yet how enduring. That one missed call can shake its foundation, yet I know it is not just the call, but the intention, the attention, the care I seem to withhold. I imagine her finally sitting, weary, her anger softening just enough to let her heart speak. Would she forgive me if I reached out now? Would she hear the truth behind my delayed response? I would give all the hours I wasted in silence for one moment of her laughter, her warmth, her glance. And still I wait, anxious and hopeful, praying that love can survive my thoughtless mistake. The wind whispers against my window, carrying my silent pleas into the morning air, and I cling to hope like a fragile flame, hoping she will hear my heart, even if I failed to answer her voice. Evening falls again, and the sky is tinged with melancholy, as if it mourns the distance that a simple silence created. I imagine her, sitting quietly, arms folded, a fortress of anger built from one unanswered call. Her thoughts wander, a mixture of frustration and longing, each memory of me sharpened by my absence. Does she recall our laughter, our whispers in the dark? Or does the sting of my neglect eclipse it all? I wish I could reach her through the air itself, break through the wall her anger has formed, and let her know my heart has never strayed, that my soul aches for her, even in moments of distraction. The phone lies still between us, a silent bridge we cannot cross without courage. I feel its weight in my hand, a reminder of what I lost in mere seconds. She called me, and my silence became a wound, one I cannot heal with empty promises. I long to hear her voice, soft but sharp, to feel her emotion guiding me back to her. Perhaps she thinks I do not care, or that my heart is elsewhere, indifferent. If only she knew the truth, that every missed call is a pang of regret, a reminder that love is fragile, and attention is the glue that holds it together. I imagine her finally speaking, her voice trembling, a mixture of anger, worry, and a hint of forgiveness. Would I recognize the softness beneath the storm? Would I dare to answer with truth and vulnerability? I picture her walking slowly, the weight of disappointment in her step, yet a quiet hope lingering in her gaze, waiting for me to bridge the silence, to show her that my heart has always been hers, The night is long, and I sit in restless anticipation. Each tick of the clock a reminder of my failure. But hope is stubborn, persistent, alive, a fragile ember refusing to die in the dark. I whisper her name into the empty room. A prayer, a plea, a confession. Let her hear it, let her know that though my mobile betrayed her, my love never will. The night stretches long, filled with unspoken words, each one trapped behind the walls of my hesitation. I imagine her restless, conflicted, torn between anger and the love that still binds us. Her hands hover over the phone, unsure, each vibration a test of patience, of hope. Does she see my remorse written in every breath I take? Or does my silence speak louder than the truth I carry? I replay the moments in my mind, the seconds lost, the calls unanswered, and I ache with the knowledge that love, even the strongest love, can fracture in silence. She called me, her voice a bridge I failed to cross. And now the distance between us feels endless. Yet beneath her anger, I sense the tremor of longing, a fragile thread connecting our hearts across the quiet. I long to hear her speak, even if it is sharp. To feel her emotions, raw and real. To answer with honesty, vulnerability, and love, and show her that my heart has never left her side. The moon peers through the window, a silent witness, illuminating the weight of my guilt and the fragility of human connection. Where one missed call can echo endlessly. I imagine her finally lowering her guard, a sigh escaping her lips, softening the edges of anger, and I yearn to hold that moment, to reassure her that every heartbeat is for her alone. The silence between us is heavy, yet within it lies the possibility of renewal, a chance to speak, to heal, to rebuild what was broken by an unintended pause. I whisper her name into the night, a prayer carried on the wind, hoping she feels the depth of my regret, hoping love can survive what silence almost destroyed. Even in the shadows of her anger, I see the light of her care flickering, and I hold on to it, fragile and fervent, determined to mend the rift my silence created. The night is our witness. The stars are quiet companions, as I wait for her forgiveness and for the soft return of her voice to me. Dawn breaks slowly, painting the sky with hesitant light, and still her absence presses on my chest. A weight I cannot shake, a reminder of my mistake, and the anger I feel in her silence. I imagine her sitting by the window, gazing at the world but seeing only my failure, her hands still clutching the phone, wondering if I will ever hear her voice. Her anger is sharp, yet beneath it I sense softness, a tender echo of the love that once flowed freely between us. I long to reach across the distance, to close the space that one missed call has widened. Each heartbeat is a drum of regret, a rhythm reminding me of her hurt, and I whisper her name again and again, hoping it finds its way to her ears, her heart. She called me, and the moment passed unnoticed, but the memory lingers, vivid and relentless. I see her expression, her frustration and longing, and I ache for the chance to show her my devotion. The silence has a voice of its own, a heavy, pressing voice that weighs on both of us. Yet I feel a spark of hope in the quiet, a fragile ember that tells me love can endure this night. I picture her finally speaking, hesitating, her anger clashing with the care she cannot hide, and I am ready to listen, to answer not just with words but with my heart. The stars fade slowly as morning grows, and I wait for her, patient and trembling, knowing that reconciliation is a delicate thread, yet one I am determined to follow wherever it leads. Her voice, when it comes, will be my salvation, a bridge across the silence, a reminder that even small mistakes cannot undo the depth of true love. I hold on to that hope, fragile, persistent, alive, and I promise silently to never let her wait again, to never let silence steal what belongs to our hearts. The morning wind carries my whispered remorse, and I cling to the thought that she will hear it, that our love, tested by one silent phone, will survive, stronger and more tender than before. The afternoon sun filters through the curtains, casting patterns of light and shadow across the room. I imagine her restless, caught between anger and care, her thoughts wandering like the sunlight across the floor. Her eyes, I know, still search for me, even as her lips press into a firm line of frustration. She wants to be angry, to hold me accountable, yet her heart beats with the memory of our closeness. I long to hear her voice, soft but charged with emotion, to feel the tremor of her feelings, to answer with honesty, devotion, and apology, and to remind her that my love has never wavered. She called me, and I failed to answer. Yet the pulse of her care has not faded. I sense it lingering, a faint warmth beneath the sharpness of her anger, a quiet hope that I might return to her. I reach for my phone, hand trembling. Every second a battle between fear and longing. What if she refuses my words? What if my apology cannot bridge the chasm I created? Still, I know I must try, to speak from the heart, to reach her through silence, to let her know that my absence was never absence of love, only a misstep in the rhythm of our lives. I imagine her finally sighing, a release of tension I have longed to hear. Perhaps her anger softens, if only slightly, and the ember of our connection glows faintly once more. I whisper to the wind, carrying my plea, hoping it brushes against her skin, hoping she feels the truth in my unspoken words, hoping she knows that my heart remains hers, unwavering. Her presence is felt even in absence, her anger tempered by care, and I wait patiently, trembling with hope, for the moment when silence turns into conversation, and hearts speak once more in the language only love understands. The day wanes, but I cling to this fragile hope, knowing that forgiveness is a seed waiting to bloom, and that one missed call, though painful, cannot erase the bond that holds us together. The evening descends softly, painting the sky in hues of longing, and I sit in quiet, imagining her restless heart. Her anger lingers like a stubborn shadow, yet beneath it I sense the tremor of care still alive. She called me, each ring a plea I could not hear, and now she waits, balancing frustration with the echo of love. I ache to hear her voice, sharp or tender, to feel the rhythm of her heart in every word. I imagine her pacing slowly, thoughts tangled, wondering if I truly remember the value of her presence. Her eyes, I picture, searching for meaning, trying to reconcile hurt with the memories of joy we shared. My silence has become a storm I cannot escape, each moment stretching longer than the last. Yet hope persists, fragile and tenacious, a quiet promise that love can endure even this night. I reach for my phone again, hesitant, trembling, afraid to shatter what little calm may exist. But my longing outweighs my fear, and I am compelled to bridge the distance between us. She called me, and my absence spoke louder than any words. Yet I hope that my remorse, my quiet yearning, can reach her heart, even through the echoes of anger, and remind her that my love has never faltered. I imagine her finally letting down the walls she built, a sigh escaping, soft and tentative, her eyes revealing the struggle within, her heart torn between pride and longing. I whisper her name into the fading light, a prayer carried on the wind, hoping she hears not just my regret, but the enduring love that binds us still. The stars emerge one by one, witnesses of this longing, their distant glow reflecting the hope I cling to. For even in silence, even in anger, love can survive, delicate and fierce, patient and true. And so I wait, holding on to the fragile thread, believing that hearts, though tested, can find each other again. That one missed call cannot undo the warmth that has always lived between us, waiting only for acknowledgement, for return, for reconciliation. Night falls again, draping the world in quiet and shadow, and I sit with the ache of my mistake heavy in my chest. Her anger lingers, sharp and insistent, yet beneath it, I feel the warmth of her love, fragile but real. I imagine her hands resting on her lap, fingers brushing over the phone as if hoping it will speak for me. Her eyes, though clouded with frustration, still search for the truth that I carry silently in my heart. She called me, and I did not answer. Yet my soul reaches for her with every beat. I long to hear her voice, to feel her presence, to bridge the space that silence has carved between us. The stars outside shimmer, distant but steady, as if they understand the weight of love tested by absence. I whisper her name into the night. A plea, a confession, a vow that my heart remains hers. I imagine her sighing, a soft tremor in her chest, a hint of vulnerability beneath her anger. Perhaps she remembers our laughter, our quiet conversations, the way our hearts once spoke effortlessly to each other. I reach for my phone again, trembling, not knowing if she will answer, not knowing if she will forgive. But hope is stronger than fear, and I cannot let silence claim what love has built. She called me, her voice a thread I failed to follow. Yet the bond we share is stronger than any moment of neglect. I see her finally softening, just a little, her heart flickering between frustration and care. I whisper my apology into the night, hoping the wind carries it to her ears, hoping she feels the sincerity behind my words, the depth of a love that has never wavered. Even in anger, even in distance, I sense her longing, delicate but persistent. And I wait patiently, trembling with hope, for the moment when silence transforms into conversation, when hearts speak once more in the language only love can know. The night deepens and shadows stretch across the walls, but her presence is vivid in my mind. Her anger a storm I cannot escape, her care a fragile light I cannot let go. I imagine her pacing softly, her thoughts tangled between resentment and longing. Each breath she takes seems to echo in my chest, reminding me of the call I never answered. She called me, her voice carrying hope and frustration, and my silence became a wound I cannot heal with ease. Yet in her eyes I see a flicker of softness, a sign that love is not yet lost, that hearts still yearn. I reach for my phone, my hand hesitant but determined, knowing that words must follow, that action must mend the rift. I whisper her name into the quiet, a plea that hope might bridge the distance between us. I picture her finally lowering her guard, a soft sigh escaping her lips, tentative and fragile. Her eyes betray the struggle within, her heart torn between holding anger and embracing love. I long to hear her voice, any tremor of emotion, to answer with honesty, devotion, and apology, to remind her that my heart has always belonged to her. Even when silence separated our worlds, the stars, distant witnesses, shimmer above, reflecting the fragile hope that persists in the night. For even in anger, even in absence, love survives, patient, enduring, and tender. I imagine her finally speaking, a single word, a thread connecting us, fragile yet real, and I am ready to listen, to answer with all of myself, to let my love speak louder than the silence ever did. The night is long, yet I cling to hope, knowing that forgiveness is a seed waiting to bloom, and that one missed call, though heavy with consequence, cannot erase the bond that has always held us close. I whisper my apology into the wind, hoping it brushes against her skin, hoping she feels the sincerity, hoping she knows that my love has never faltered.